as a singularity. Stars. It began as a singularity.
Ladies and gentlemen, does anyone among you believe that the meeting that took place today at State House between President William Ruto and ODM MPs from Nyanza was a coincidence? If you ask me, the answer to that question is a very big no. This is simply a game of thrones, or in other words, house of cards. Politically speaking, this is partial application of a realpolitik with the aim of fooling the person in power very close to you, while at the same time reaching out and making new political friends for your political survival and interests. William Ruto is skillfully applying the following 4 sections of the 48 laws of power very cleverly. Law number 2, which states, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Law number 8, which states, make other people come to you, use bait if necessary. Law number 12, which states, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. And finally, law number 14, which says, pose as a friend but work as a spy. I bet my 50 cents that Baba Raila Odinga was very aware, in fact, fully aware of the meeting that was going to happen between President Ruto and the ODM MPs at State House. Given that Baba, just like President Ruto, has very deep intelligence briefs served to him every so often from various intelligence sources. To prove my point, look at the very important statement given below by ODM Director of Communications Philip Etale, and another one by Minority Leader in Parliament and MP for Ugunja, Opiyo Wandayi. Under normal circumstances, if what happened today was real, you all know how ODM could have come out guns blazing. I dare add, there could have been political thunderstorms in the respective constituencies, beginning with Langata. Look at the statement below by Opiyo Wandayi. This is what the statement says. Party Communications of Director Philip Etale stated that the party was not surprised by the MP's actions and that some of them were never loyal to Raila and would eventually fold at a fee. Some leaders in the party demanded disciplinary action. However, the leader of minority in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi asked the members not to demonize their colleagues. Wandayi confirmed that the party would convene a parliamentary group meeting for stock-taking, after which appropriate decisions would be made. De-whipping any leader is not our agenda. We are not in the mood of punishing anyone. It is in order to take stock of the gains that we have made and the possible losses we might have incurred since we went for the long recess. Opiyo Wandayi further responded to calls by Azimio leaders, some Azimio leaders, ostensibly, to punish those who failed to attend the rallies and engagement forums. Opiyo Wandayi said, and this is what he said: "We've made it very clear that you want every Azimio MP to attend, of course. There may be cases that are beyond our control. We can't assume that all those are not attending are rebelling." End of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way on earth people like Jalas from Langata constituency, Professor Tom Ojienda, Kisumu Senator, Mark Nyamita, Uriri constituency, Shakil Shabir, Kisumu Town East, even though he's an independent, but with Baba's blessings, Karoli Omondi, Suba South, Elisha Odhiambo, Game, and Gideon Ochanda, Bondo, Baba's home village, could have gone to meet William Ruto without Baba's knowledge. But I could be wrong though, given that William Ruto is a shrewd politician, having been a political student who attended the Moi Primary School of Politics, then proceeded to attend the Kibaki Secondary School of Politics, before he joined the Raila Odinga College of Politics, where he graduated with flying colors and was offered a job opportunity by Uhuru Kenyatta at the Uhuru Kenyatta government of politics. Today's meeting, in my opinion, was meant to achieve the following political objectives. Number one, Ruto's attempt to slow down the Azimio hurricane. You see, Ruto, being the president, receives intelligence reports from the NIS, the DCI, and other government agencies on all activities in the country and beyond. The intelligence team must have informed Ruto that as things stand, if Baba and the Azimio team were not somewhat appeased, the country was headed for very difficult times politically. Especially now that Baba has officially unveiled the Movement for the Defense of Democracy wing. Ruto knows that with the current political and economic environment, one word alone from Baba and the Azimio team, and Kenya will be ungovernable. In my opinion, William Ruto has just but begun a series of charm offensive in his attempt to penetrate through Azimio and slow down the impending political hurricane. For him to achieve this objective, he has to start by seducing ODM, then probably Wiper, then probably Eugene Wamalwa's party, then Martha Karua's NAK Kenya, and so on. Number two, attempt at extending a hand of friendship to Raila Odinga through the MPs silently. As I said earlier, William Ruto is a very clever politician who has worked with all the major political players in the country and knows all of them well. William Ruto is now under pressure, especially from Kenyans, to perform and deliver on the many election promises they made, many of which have not even been discussed, leave alone delivered. With this in mind, William Ruto knows that some of the promises made can only be delivered if the country is calm politically, and for this to happen, Raila Odinga has to be on the same side in one way or the other, in some political shape or form. Otherwise, the economy risks further downward spiral, which will most likely make him be the most hated president Kenya has ever had, especially given that 80% of Kenyans are going through very difficult times and can hardly afford very basic human needs such as food due to the current poor economic environment. Number 3, galvanizing the Luo support ahead of the 2027 general elections. Why do you think William Ruto only met ODM MPs from Nyanza? ODM is the biggest and currently the oldest national political party in Kenya. President Ruto is fully aware that the Luo nation usually votes as a bloc and has very fertile political strength and numbers. Ruto knows very well that once he succeeds in seducing the Luo nation to his fold, making a stopover to Western Kenya will be a walkover. Once he has both the Luo and the Luya nation at his side, then add to the Kalenjin and Kamba nations, as well as other areas that are Babas or Azimio zones, he is good to go. For him to achieve this objective, he has to start early by delivering by all means possible to the promises made, especially to the Luo nation, more so during the recent tour of Nyanza. Number 4, taming Mount Kenya. Many people may not be aware of the posturing and the political undercurrents that is playing at Kenya Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza has managed to keep their differences secret, though in politics, there's nothing secret anyway. On one hand, we have all witnessed how DP Rigathi Gachagua has been trying his best to hold Mount Kenya meetings. As to the nature of the meetings, nobody knows, because DP Gachagua has been posturing himself as the current leader of Mount Kenya, despite the fact that President Uhuru Kenyatta is still alive and very much around and active politically in many ways. President Ruto is fully aware that if he sits by, people will prove cleverer and outsmart him. The Ruto I know is not going to allow this to happen. Ruto knows that a political partner with time will eventually demand more and more. Given that already there are reports of serious disappointment with William Ruto from Mount Kenya, Ruto is spreading his political wings to other regions across the country with the sole aim of taming Mount Kenya. In other words, should the mountain decide to go it alone in 2027, William Ruto will have by then made some inroads in other parts of the country that would guarantee him a good volume of votes. But wait, this happened, and as was revealed by Professor George Wajakoya when he told Baba that there are leaders pretending to stand by him during the day. But wait, this happened as was revealed by Professor George Wajakoya when he told Baba that there are leaders pretending to stand by him during the day, but at night they change their blue clothes to UDA yellow clothes. Did Wajakoya have prior update of what was going to happen today between the ODM MPs and President Ruto, as well as taking into consideration the statement that was released by Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi, pouring cold water on today's event when he seemed to be defending the move by the ODM MPs?
Na mimi nataka kuambia wenzangu, don't you dare take me for granted. Don't you dare take Baba for granted. Ukiona Baba yuko hapa, mimi singekuwa hapa. Singekuwa hapa because I've got my own brain. But nimekuja hapa kuona kwamba Baba is safe. Kuna wengine hapo awali hawakutaka nisonge karibu na Baba, na wako hapa. Kumanina zao. ukicheza na huyu mzee, na mimi najua kuna magavana ambao wamekula, who are supposed to be with baba here. Wengine wanaanza kusema ati tutafanya kazi na serikali. Mama yako ndiye alikuweka hapo.
Money anymore. Shake your feet, baby, got that now. Imagine you don't need to who are you? What I do? Who you think you are? Do you know me? Get the hell out of my face because hey, I am unsuable.
Na nikiendelea kidogo, manake najua ya kwamba mimi chama changu cha Roots Party hakiko katika mrengo wa Azimio. Kwa hivyo mimi nitaongea kama Roots ambaye anamuunga baba mkono. Mnaelewa mwelewi? Na kuanzia leo nimeambia wana Roots mahali walipo, pamoja na wale ambao wako kwa PPLC, hakuna uchaguzi wa PPLC. Roots Party will not be participating in that. We are not going to participate in the nomination of an IBC member to mnataka niseme nini? Juzi mlisikia nikiambia Gachagua awache kiherehere arudi kwao kule afanyie ujinga yake huko, si nilisema? Na hii Nairobi yetu nitalaumu wale watu wanaitwa Waluya, wanalambalambe fikae. Baba ndiye ameleta kila mbunge wa Mluya ambaye yako hapa ni juu ya baba. Mnasikia msikii? Every member of parliament who is in Nairobi County is here because of baba. Wale ambao wako mguu pande hii na pande hii usiku tunaoelewa, na nitakwambia baba, I have them.